Hi, Mary.
Hello.
You got some teachers there with you?
I don't have anyone here with me, but I am recording this.
Okay, all right. So there's a couple of different ways we can do teacher training. There's the way that I can show you a couple things on kind of a demo center to give you kind of an overview. It can be helpful because it's more of a populated center, so you can see what it will look like to have lots of kids in there, lots of teachers checked in. But it also can be a little bit difficult to fully get a grasp on what we're doing because they're not your group names, they're not your kids, they're not your teachers.
Right.
So that's why the second way is probably preferred, where you are logging in to your account and sharing your screen with me, and you're going through some of the steps yourself.
Okay.
Sometimes we do a little bit of both, where I kind of give you a little bit of an overview of what a realistic center would look like, and then you dive in and get some hands-on learning yourself. But do you have any preference based on what I
Uh,
just kind of described?
I don't really have a preference. Whatever you think
Okay.
is fine.
Okay. Let's have you share your screen with me and log in, and we'll start there. And if I need to show you anything from a populated center, we can do that afterwards.
Okay.
Has today been a crazy day or just a typical day?
No, it's been fine. Well, I've been working from my home office, so hopefully it's fine at work too.
Okay. All right. Okay, so this is the login page, right? This is where everybody, when they log in, this is the page that they come to.
Okay.
Everybody's screen is going to look a little bit different based on what sort of privileges they have. So teachers will probably have fewer menu options than this.
Okay.
Most teachers will probably just have check-in and out privileges and rooming privileges. The other ones are kind of optional based on what the roles are. So as a teacher, the first thing you do when you log in and you're ready to work is you're going to clock in. And there's two ways to clock in. If you're already in this main menu view and you haven't entered the rooming module yet, you can clock in by selecting your name at the top of the screen and choose the drop down menu next to it and clock in. So let's go ahead and do it that way first. So you can clock in right there. There's going to be an even easier way to clock in or a more efficient way to clock in if you're sharing a tablet with somebody. So as a teacher, you're probably sharing a tablet with another teacher in a room. And here we know who's trying to clock in because you're the one that logged in. But once you're in the rooming module, it's not really going to matter who originally logged in. Everybody's going to kind of be at this even level playing field.
Okay.
So once we go into the rooming module, I'll show you the clock in and out method there. But once we go to rooming, we won't go there quite yet. But once we go there, you will need your PIN number. So if anyone forgets their PIN number, it is listed in their profile.
Okay.
And their profile is accessible by clicking on their name, just how you clocked in, that drop-down menu up there.
Yeah.
When you click on your profile, you can view your PIN number. So don't
Okay.
click on your profile now if you don't want your
Right.
PIN number to be visible here. But that's how teachers can get a reminder of what their PIN number was.
Okay.
All right. So there's a couple different ways to check kids in and out. So that will be the next step after teachers clock in. They could start to check kids in and out theoretically. And to do that, one way to do that is to use the menu on the left-hand side that says check in and out. So I think that this is more of like an administrative view. If there's somebody that's in like a front lobby area welcoming families into the school,
Right.
they could use this check in and out menu.
Okay.
Go ahead and click on that. Let's see if there's any kids that have a pending check-in request. Okay, so it says parent request, group check-in, and group checkout. So if you were, again, kind of an administrative person sitting in a front lobby area helping to welcome families into the school, this is a good workflow for that. But as a teacher, I would say you're going to be doing check-in and out from the rooming module.
Okay.
So here we could see if any parents had requested a check-in or out. And what that means is when parents arrive to drop off or pick up their children, they're going to log into their account on their cell phone, either through the mobile app that they've downloaded for free, or by going to kangarootime.com on their cell phone's internet browser. So either way, it doesn't matter. But they'll log in, they'll request check-in if they're dropping off their child, and they can only request check-in if they have been given check-in and out privileges. So all primary account holders have check-in and out privileges automatically. That's a given. But then any other guardian that's been invited to have a Kangarootime account, if they have check-in and out privileges, then they'll be able to do check-ins and outs.
Okay.
So here we can see that there are no pending check-in or out requests. If there were, there'd be a bouncing kangaroo instead of that little gray dot
Right.
to the right of the child's name. If there was anybody already checked in, the dot would be green.
Okay.
If there was anybody that had been marked absent, the dot would be yellow. And if anybody had already been checked in and back out for the day, their dot would be red.
Okay.
And there's a little cheat sheet, a reference guide about check-ins and outs from this page as an attachment. I'm not sure if I sent that or not, but I will if I haven't.
Okay.
All right. So again, I don't think your teachers are going to use this workflow very often, but just know that it exists, and I think it's explained a little bit better in the videos too.
Okay.
The group check-in button is really helpful. If you click that, this is a great way to check in multiple kids at once, kind of in a forced check-in manner. You're going to be able to force check-in or force check-out children from the rooming module. You'll still be able to do that. But this, the intention of this was that if you had a bunch of kids dropped off by a bus at once, let's say, well, their parent isn't there to request check-in, so you'd have to get them forced checked in all at once. And that's really what this feature is for.
Okay.
But if you see other purposes for it, like, even if children aren't dropped off or picked up by a bus, you could still use this feature for, force checking in multiple kids at once. All you would do is kind of narrow.
Is the group check-in option available through rooming, or is this the only screen where you can do that?
Right. You can only do group force check-in from this view here, from this main menu view.
So then what we would want to do is select, so we would probably have their school listed here, right?
Yeah.
If they
So
were
the school source is the bus roster.
Right.
So if they have been assigned to a bus roster, the bus route name would be listed in that school column.
Okay. So we would just do this, select it. I just started working on this a little bit, and so I'll just for teachers who are watching this later, you'll be able to click on school, and all the Ballard Elementary or Northside or whoever will be here, so that you can select all those at once and check them in.
Yeah. Another little shortcut, and that's absolutely right, Mary, by sorting that column, all of the Ballard Elementary kids will show up at the top of that list. But another shortcut will be if you just use the search field and type in like BALL.
Great.
And that will narrow down the list.
Perfect.
And that way you could select all.
Oh, yep.
Or select just a few kids or whatever it is. So I'll show you this step, but we won't complete it. But I'll take you one step further and use that purple check-in button. So once you've selected which children you want to force check-in, once you click on the purple check-in button, you'll see a list of kids. And it's going to basically double check. Are you sure you want to check these kids in? And then you have the opportunity to deselect the children. Like you could use the red X to the right to deselect the kids. If you go, oh, you know what, JR, he actually wasn't on the bus today, I'm going to deselect him. So when we're doing a forced check-in, we have to say why we're doing that. So if all of the children had the same reason why you're doing a forced check-in, you can leave that drop-down menu at the very top to say child arrived by bus. Or whatever the reason is. But if they all kind of arrived, or you're doing a forced check-in for different reasons, then you can go one by one and choose the reason on their individual drop-down menu.
Great.
All right. So go ahead and cancel out of that. So you get the idea. And again, the reason that the group forced check-in option is only kind of in this main menu view is that we imagine that this is someone sitting at the front desk welcoming all of the school age, bus kids through the front door.
Okay. So
kind of as they're being dropped off.
How we do it is the school age teacher gets them off the bus and they actually come in the back door, and then this gets done at a later time. But if this can be pulled up on the iPad, then they can still have access to this.
Absolutely, yeah. It can still be pulled up on the iPad. Be pulled up on any screen or on any device. It just will depend on the workflow for sure. So once I show you what's available in the rooming module, you'll have a better idea of which steps to take and in which order and from which screen.
Got it.
So this also gives you an idea of which kids are currently here versus which ones are not. So if we were to clear out that search field that says BALL, it would show us all the kids who are not currently checked in. So it's not the main purpose of this page, but I like to point out that if you're curious which kids were not here today, this is only showing you those kids who are not already checked in.
Okay.
Right, because you can only check in kids who aren't checked in already.
And
so just like if you...
The same thing with the classroom then. So if we wanted to look for GSRP 1, got it. Then we can see.
Exactly.
Yeah, perfect.
So if you click on group checkout, you'll see there's no kids listed there.
Right.
Well, there shouldn't be. And that way you know there's no kids currently checked in. You can't check out a child if they're not checked in.
Right.
So this is not the only way or even the best way to see which kids are here or not, but again, maybe from like an administrative view, All right.